Welcome to another video on this channel, guys. Today I'm coming to you with a new tutorial and we're going to dig deep into the need for speed. Here's a disclaimer, this is not your standard tutorial. Move your foot like that, pull your arm like that, and you're going 5 kilometers per hour faster. I want you to understand why you have to do things a certain way, and I want you to know how to go about your training. If you do enjoy this tutorial and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, leave us a like under the video and let us know in the comments what you're struggling with. And now here are 5 important areas to look at if you want to become a faster free ride, free race or race windsurfer.
Training system, measuring success, physique, gear and technique. Let's start with the training system.
You don't have to look at yourself as a high-level athlete, but regardless, it's very helpful to have a scheme or a concept that you can work with. So you're always aware of what you're doing instead of just windsurfing into the blue. This is based on a realization I recently had in foiling. On the fin, I have been on a high level of speed since quite some time, but in foiling, the general level and also my personal level and speed is still rising. And it may seem obvious that a higher average speed also leads into a higher top speed, but let me explain why that is important for you.
In order to increase your top speed, you need to build higher bases. You want to start being more comfortable at speeds that have previously been a challenge for you. Once you get comfortable at 1 or 2 kilometers per hour more, with a bigger sail size or new faster board, you'll be able to approach the next peak. And this is quite literally what pushing your limit is. You'll want to go for really long reaches because acceleration happens much faster at a lower speed and decreases when you're close to your top speed. It will also help you to get more comfortable at speeds close to your personal speed limit, as opposed to just turning around after you reach your peak.
Measuring your success is more difficult than it may seem. Of course, a GPS watch should be objective, but your speed depends on a lot of different factors, such as sailing at a different angle to the wind, strength of the wind, length of the gust, speed you're entering the gust at, or the shape of the waves. And nowadays there are quite reliable GPS watches, of which we believe have the best ones in the shop at Surf Center. We'll link it down below for you. One way we measure success on this channel is of course by your learning curve, but also by counting the subscribers. So please check the button below this video, and if it still says subscribe, please hit it for free. And yeah, you will subscribe to the channel because this is what motivates us.
More reliable is a windsurfing buddy of whom you know that he or she is a consistent windsurfer. If you sail next to each other, you can be sure to enter the same gusts and chop or waves at the same time. This way you'll get rid of a lot of the previously mentioned factors and you know whether or not you're gaining speed by changing a part of your gear or the technique.
When it comes to windsurfing at top speed and strong wind, we're often limited by our ability to control the gear, while in lighter winds we struggle to get it efficiently flying over the water. Both of these can be addressed with body tension, core strength and strong legs. In order to reach the highest speed possible for the gear you're on and the conditions you're windsurfing in, you can probably not expect to be super comfortable. Anything that gets you close to the ultimate performance will require some sort of physical effort and with that also discomfort. So I've got some good and some bad news. The good news is you can probably train yourself to be comfortable at the same or higher speed you're now uncomfortable at. The bad news is that you have to work for this a bit.
There's basically 2 ways of training. First is obviously to just get as many hours on the water as possible and bring your body to the limit of its capabilities each time. The second one is the training off the water. This one is especially important for those of you who sometimes have several days or weeks or even months between windsurfing sessions. With longer breaks, you obviously have a much harder time of building new higher bases. The key in your workouts is to do them consistently. If you don't have any workouts in your routine, start with just 1 or 2 times per week. With a little bit of a lower entry barrier, it will be much easier to keep them going.
In this tutorial, I'm not going to go into exact detail about which exercise to do, because I already have a full video and a PDF guide with a detailed workout, which you can even do at home. So I will obviously link those below the video for you. We could talk for hours and hours about gear, how to trim it, how to tune it, and how to choose it. We all know that windsurfing is not a cheap sport. So first and foremost, I want to mention that you should never get held back by feeling like you can't afford the latest generation of sail. Super important to remember that windsurfing, at least when you're not competing like me, is not an ego game.
If you're watching this right now, you should focus on getting the best speed out of whatever gear you have, whether it's a 10-year-old freeride board or the latest racing sail or anything in between. So just for the fun of it, I checked the used gear at Surf Center, and you literally get a good racing set with board, sail and used rig parts for around 1,000 euros.
All that being said, we're now here at Surf Center, my surf shop in the Netherlands, but we operate all over Europe and we obviously have all the new toys. I'm going to mention the obvious things first. A free race sail is faster than a freeride sail, and a race sail is faster than a free race sail. And the same obviously goes for fins and boards. Now, we tested all that in depth when we compared the different boards against each other and the different sails against each other. I'm obviously going to link those videos below. At the same time, of course, technology evolves. So newer sails have higher speed potential, better ease of use and bigger wind ranges than the older ones. Of course, you have to have the skill level to use these to their full potential. And that's kind of what we do here at Surf Center. We help you find the right gear that matches your budget, your skill level, and your goals in windsurfing. And it's thanks to you guys choosing Surf Center and of course to all my other partners that we can bring you this kind of content for free here on YouTube.
So far so good, but how do you get the maximum speed out of your gear?
I've already made many tutorials on how to tune your gear. One, again, including a PDF just very recently, which has all the important key points for you. It's just important to get the trim of your gear right and balanced. There's no simple formula like more downhole equals more top speed.
Let me just sum up the most important trimming and tuning tips for you. The board should fly with little resistance over the water. Is it too sticky? Move the base further back. Does your board tend to tail walk? Especially when hitting a gust, put it further forward. The sail should release enough and let you accelerate when entering a gust. If you enter a resistance, you probably have too little downhole or too big sail. The rail of the board lifts too much. Once you're powered up, the fin might be too big. When the wind is light and you have to be too gentle with fin pressure, the fin may be too small. Foot straps positions further back have more speed potential, but you need to be able to control it. Why don't you try one position further back to start with? In strong wind, the harness line should be long enough in order to allow you to bring your body low enough so you can counter the sail pressure and apply lateral pressure on the fin. This results in better speeds. In light winds, setting the boom at eye level can help you to lift more board area above the water, resulting in less resistance. In strong winds, setting the boom at chest level can help you to keep the nose from rising and losing control. And lastly, about the right gear size. Generally speaking, in order to reach your highest possible speed, you should be on the biggest gear size you can just keep under full control.
And finally, and probably most importantly, the technique. Most windsurfing spots do not have consistent wind. Therefore, you enter gusts and you enter wind holes. Your technique always has to adjust to the surroundings. This will increase your average speed and, as we learned before, also your top speed. When practicing these techniques, it helps to exaggerate them a bit, so you understand the posture and the benefit better.
So in light wind, you're gonna want the sail as upright as possible. And in order to achieve that, you're gonna move your hips up like that. The sail's gonna come more upright, it's gonna work more efficiently, and it's also gonna allow you to rail your board better.
Now you'll want to get your board into a position in which it can fly over the chop. You'll achieve this by carefully shifting weight onto the back leg, from where you transfer the pressure onto the fin. Not completely, because if you push too much at a low speed, you'll end up in a spin out.
In the next step, you're gonna start lifting your heel on the back foot slightly, and now you'll see how the windward rail will start lifting, like that.
Now comes a moment where leg strength plays an important role and which is often unmentioned. Lifting the heel doesn't mean lifting the whole leg. So while the heel goes slightly up, your leg is still pushing down on the board.
From this position, you can start playing with the pressure on your fin and how much you want to lift the heel or not. But as soon as you enter the gust, your position has to adapt immediately. Firstly, you're gonna start applying more pressure on the heel again, because the more windy it is and the faster you start going, the more your windward rail wants to lift. You're also gonna start bulging out your back. You're gonna get closer with your upper body to the boom. That's gonna give you more control, and also the longer harness lines will help in these kind of conditions. In strong wind, we tend to become nervous and put a lot of the weight and force of the sail into our arms instead of into the harness. So try to put as much power as you can into the harness and away from the arms, and also lock yourself in the foot straps.
From here, it's again raising about the base speed you're comfortable in. Acceleration is fast in the beginning, but to really get high peaks, you need to maintain position and in control for longer reaches. Once you're comfortable, you'll want to focus on applying slightly more sideways pressure to the board, which transfers sail power more into the fin rather than into the deck of the board, resulting in higher speed.
I can totally imagine that this has probably been a ton of information for you guys. So take it step by step and be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, because we're sending out these tutorials as a text with images, so you can take it with you to the beach. And yeah, if you did learn something in this video, be sure to leave us a like, let us know in the comments what you're struggling with. Much love, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.